Hello, it's Luke Voulgarakis from LV Life and welcome to your quick tarot for week commencing the 22nd of July 2024. We've just seen Simon join us for our reading today. Hello Simon, you gonna say hi? Meow? Alright, you can go down and we're gonna do a reading. So we'll start with our first three general energy cards, and then after that I'm going to do one for each sign, and I'll put the timestamps with this video so that you can forward to your sun, moon and rising signs without having to watch all of them. All right, here we go. So that's two cards out. Let's get the third, and then we shall begin our general energies reading. All right, so we start here with the High Priestess in reverse position. So when we look at the High Priestess here, she is sat between these two pillars, one dark, one light. She's got the moon symbol at her feet, and she's got this kind of tapestry or behind her. And so when we think about this as a concept, it's very much about pillars representing the darkness and the light of life, the harder things and then the more positive, brighter things. But that we actually need to experience both. We need to find equilibrium between the both of those to be able to support the structure of our lives. No living in false positivity, no living in absolute pessimism, doom and gloom, but finding a place between them. And that's where all the beautiful stuff happens, in between the both. And then we've got here this moon symbol, which is about stepping into more feminine energy. And of course, the High Priestess being this kind of feminine energy character. It's very much about looking at how do we use our intuition, our inner guidance system. How can we not focus on the masculine, which is the physical world, but how can we focus on the feminine, which is the internal world? And in this reverse position, I think you're being asked to look a little more deeply at things, to feel into them, to lean into them, to not necessarily use logical, physical senses, but to use these more internal, intuitive senses. And then with this, we had the Knight of Swords. I don't know if there's something going on at the moment that you are just kind of tackling head on. You can see this kind of knight charging into battle here. So perhaps rather than challenging or tackling something head on with kind of like force and gumption, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but perhaps you're being asked to use your intuitive forces, your senses a little bit more around this situation to get the win as such. And then when we've got this Seven of Pentacles here, and that came out reversed as well, there's a real kind of reverse, Pentacles upright are worth, like physical things, but in reverse are like self-worth. And I think there's a real aspect of having to kind of step back and think about, where is this kind of headstrongness coming from? Where's the need for the battle coming from? And perhaps it's time to look more internally, obviously more intuitively, but also more at yourself in terms of your self-worth, and thinking, okay, is some of this, let's call it aggression, I don't know, or anger, or will or need to fight to take things on, is that coming from a place of authenticity, or is that coming from a place of not necessarily recognizing your own self-worth and your own value here? So perhaps you're asking just to move through next week with a little more softness, with a little more internalized processing through this intuitive energy, rather than externalized things being, right or wrong, or having this real kind of need to fight and take everything on. So perhaps using the more subtle energies this week. All right, so let's put those together with the readings, a card for each sign. So let's start with Taurus. Taurus, you have got this Seven of Cups in reverse position. Now the Seven of Cups here, I always look at this guy a little bit like a conductor of an orchestra. And then we've got all these cups. Some of them have got nice things in, like crowns and jewels, and other ones have got like snakes and gargoyles. So it's like, where are you putting your energy and your emotions at the moment? I say emotions because it's a reverse card. Like, what are you, how are you utilizing the good and the bad stuff that goes in on your inside? Like, how can you utilize all of that? So sometimes when we look into the darker parts of ourselves, we get kind of intuition or clues or hints about perhaps where some of our superpowers lie. But you have to use that in balance with then the more positive aspects of the self. So I think you're just being asked to kind of do some inner organization of what, strengths and weaknesses you have inside, and then use them to your power, to your advantage. But you have to have this level of awareness first. So I guess you kind of just need to, again, a bit like we just said with the general energies, just to understand yourself inside a little bit better and use that stuff as your superpower as you're moving forward. Right, Virgo. We've got the Page of Cups. Perhaps there's a little surprise coming for you, Virgo, this week. That's what we see when they see this fish coming out of the cup there. It's a bit surprising, a bit weird. Page of Cups, as I always say, always in a fabulous mini dress. Love a page. Yeah, I just really feel like there's some kind of something, like an opportunity, like a surprise opportunity being presented to you this week that's going to be the start of something that's going to, I guess, have a path. And the reason that I know it's going to have a path is because the page is the beginning of the royal. So we go page, knight, queen, king. So there's progression and succession there. So I think that, something that comes up like an opportunity or even a spark in a conversation or meeting a person or something is coming up this week that is going to lead to something more interesting for you. So that's exciting for you. All right, Capricorn. Ooh, the Emperor in reversed. Right, the Emperor is a very authoritarian figure, obviously. He's an emperor. He's been through a lot to get on his throne there. So, he's a wise person. He's well seasoned. But in this reverse position, the way that it came out, are you drawing on your own emperor strength right now? I feel like when time's getting tough, like you have an opportunity to really dig deep within and say, okay, this is the way that the world would do it, but what's the way that I would do it? What comes from my experience, my knowledge, my wisdom, and drawing from that, become your own emperor, not what everybody else would do, or not what is generally societally meant for you to do, but what do you feel and think and know from your own wisdom experience, right? So yeah, making decisions from a place of your knowledge, not what else is going on in the world. Okay, Sagittarius. We got the Four of Swords here. They came out in reversed. All right, okay. So time to rest between battles is the obvious thing here, because here we see 3 battles up there, 1 down here, ready to go, and then this moment of rest and pause. In this reverse position, this is like an internal rest. You don't necessarily physically need to, stop and collapse on the sofa and watch Netflix. You can. Other streaming services are available. But I feel like for you, you need to take like a mental step back or rest or break. Perhaps something's just doing your head in right now. And you just need to step back from that. You can't think or process or do any more than you've already done right now. You just need to retreat. Okay, so like a mental retreat for you. Okay, Leo. Oh, Leo, you got 2. I'll let you have 2. Oh, this is wonderfully optimistic and beautiful and bright and exciting, isn't it, Leo? So the Magician, like literally being able to create or do whatever it is that you want in the world. Like it's the 1, it's the first card. I mean, we have the 0, which is the Fool, but it's the kind of first action step here. having the opportunity to start over, to recreate. But this time, this eternity symbol representing whatever you're doing or bringing into fruition now is for the long term. You're not looking at short-term wins here, you're looking at long-term wins. And then this kind of happy families card, completion, 10 of cups. I think that just from a relationships perspective in your life, that doesn't need to be romantic. You know, any person that you know really that is considered a relationship, a friend, a colleague, a partner, family members, whatever. I just feel like there's a real security and a real kind of like you've got your team, you know who they are, you feel good about relationships in your life, and it's giving you that opportunity to then step out and do something new, right, and to create again. So yeah, I think that, you know, you're finally secure for a moment, and you want to honor that by actually taking action in this security. Aries. Ace of Swords, Aries. You're in for the win. So Ace of Swords is like a gift from the universe. We see this hand coming out of the cloud, this crown up on top there of the sword. So obviously a victorious card, right? And I always feel like this hand out of the cloud is like when you've had something on your timeline, perhaps from even before you came here, arrived in this human suitcase that you're in right now. You put a few things on your timeline, and now stuff is starting to present itself that was always meant to present itself for you. But I feel like it's after challenges and battles. I feel like it's after a pretty hard time. You're finally seeing the benefit, the win from it all. You know, the why it happened for you, not why it happened to you. Yeah, so that's quite exciting for you. All right, Gemini. Nine of Cups. You've got your people organized in your life, right? Not dissimilar to the Ten of Cups that we just had. I don't know, the last person that I read for. Who were they? Aries. Yeah. So this is Gemini. Like when you've got all your people, all your ducks in a row, you then don't. You feel perhaps like you don't need to let anybody else in. Like you've got a good solid core of people. And you're feeling the need to perhaps say no to anybody else coming forward, to not focus on creating new relationships, but to focus on utilizing the relationships that you have, that you know that you can trust, that are your core strength. So yeah, a bit like the previous one that I just did for Aries. It's like utilizing that core group of people and it being a real support structure and network for you. Okay, so Aquarians. What do we have for us? We have got the King of Pentacles in reverse. So I feel like when I see this king, he always looks a bit overwhelmed to me. Like everything, he's all right, but everything is kind of growing up around him and overtaking him. What's on his cloak seems to be what's also growing around him. So that means you maybe got a lot on your plate at the minute. However, in this reverse position, I'm going to say don't get overwhelmed, all right? Remember, you are the king. You've got that throne. It's your position to be in. It's your birthright to be in that position. But don't let things overwhelm you. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry. Yes, don't let things overwhelm you. Because where you're at right now is exactly where you're meant to be. That's the king energy in itself. It's the birthright. So take a moment to pause, reflect, to look at what's going on around you, and to perhaps get a little bit pragmatic about, okay, I've got a lot on my plate. What do I do about it? Let's just stop for a second, put everything out on the table, and make good, healthy decisions of what you can and can't achieve, right? And then communicate that rather than letting things overwhelm you. Okay, Libra. Ooh. 5 of Wands in reverse. Is there some monkey chatter in your mind, some noise going on that is perhaps stopping you, holding you back, making you feel a certain way? Like, don't listen to the noise in your head. It's not useful. Sometimes noise in our head is useful. It keeps us safe, it protects us, whatever. But in this sense, like, it's not helping you at all. It's just like the drama committee. So yeah, just don't listen to what's going on necessarily, right? I guess if you are failing to make a decision or failing to have a conversation or stalling on something because in your mind you're playing out these scenarios that could happen, the what ifs, it's time just to let that go, and just to take the action, just to move forward, just to do whatever it is that you need to do without letting the brain stop you. All right, Cancerians. The Page of Wands. Look, lovely, fresh energy, having opportunities now to go and explore. And, this has been coming up a lot for Cancer. I know that because my mum's a Cancerian, and I've just been thinking the last few weeks how this keeps coming up. And in fact, I did a little reading with her on my retreat that she came on. And yeah, this kind of energy came up then as well. It's like just having opportunities for newness, for excitement, for exploration. And it just seems to be coming up over and over and over again. So Cancerians, if you're not getting the message, you need to listen. Like, you need to step into something new, to explore, to just go out and be in the world, not sit back and be stagnant right now, but to actually go out and participate in the world, because there's something new and exciting right there for you. Scorpio. Ooh, the Tower card in reverse. I feel like we might have had this last week. I can't remember. I'm Scorpio moon, so that's why I feel like I remember this. The Tarot card in reverse. The Tower card, rather. All right, Tower's when everything comes crashing down, right? Things around you that you thought you wanted, that you thought you built up to achieve, have suddenly just disappeared. But in this reverse position, I feel like perhaps the person that you thought you were is being challenged at the moment. Maybe you are just feeling a certain kind of way, like a stress response, or you're having some emotional insecurity, or you're just feeling a bit off, maybe just a bit under the weather. Now, this is not a stagnant energy, right? Just because the Tower's crashed doesn't mean that you need to sit like the hermit and reflect on all of it. Actually, the Tower clears the path for something new. So I guess it's time to take action towards that something new. It's time to step out of that kind of all the mayhem and the dust from the crashing down, and actually to emerge from it and to start to take action about how you're feeling about yourself. I feel like it's just a time to really take action on the self. And then Pisces. Ace of Cups reversed. You know that phrase, you can't pour from an empty cup? Is your cup a bit empty right now? I feel like at the moment you're feeling a little bit energetically depleted. Maybe not physically, but just energetically depleted. So it's time to focus on refilling your cup, to really put some effort into self-care, because I think it's going to work wonders, right? I think that there's, you see this hand from the cloud coming out like the gift from the universe. I feel like it's going to unlock something. It's going to really fill you up. It's going to just energize you in a way that you really need right now. So yeah, just a bit of focus on self-care and self-processing for you this week. Cool. On a note of self-care, I'm running Self-Care Summer at my Wellbeing Centre, meaning that all of us that work there are offering free or donation-based services throughout the summer. There are over 30 things that you can sign up for free or by donation, just to have a full-on summer full of self-care. So check that out at lukevoulgarakis.com/self-care-summer, but I'll make sure that link is in the description. All right, thank you so much. If you want a private reading, visit me at lukevoulgarakis.com/tarot. Again, I'll put that link in the description, and we can arrange that, do it via video, or we can do it in person. Okay, have a wonderful week ahead. Please like, follow, subscribe, share, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.